3, 2, 1. We are live and direct from the basement. This is the Median Podcast. Today I am accompanied by Nate the Great.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Not much, you?
Not much, just chilling.
Yeah?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Obviously, we spoke a bit before the podcast. Usually everyone who comes in will always have a nice discussion, get the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you been up to?
Bro, just chilling, you know what I mean? Like, school's been done for me, so I've just been grinding out work, like, hustling out some graphic design contracts, like, other than that, just doing me, you know, having fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bit of chill.
Bit of chill, bit of party,
chill.
bit of work, you know what I mean? You know how it goes.
Watch out, eh? There's a nice pick coming up soon.
Yes, sir.
Just. So, so definitely a lot of time then to, like, you know, work on your craft and stuff. So what are you planning on doing this summer in terms of, like, logos and graphic design and shit?
Well, I'm planning because like next year in my class I have to build a portfolio, so I gotta build a whole website for myself. So I was thinking of this summer as a summer project, I'm gonna like start my actual coding for my website on my own. So when I get to school, like I pretty much have my whole base of my thing done, so I can really even go farther with it, you know, later on. Other than that, I want to make a video. I want to get a couple cover arts done, maybe a couple logos, whatever comes my way. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what are your favorite types of contracts? Like the ones that really make the artist come out? Probably
cover arts and logos, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Those are my favorite to do.
And what do you usually find so appealing about them?
Cover art's more so like it kind of tells a story of the song or tells a story of the album. You know what I mean? It like the first thing you ever see about a track or an album or an EP or whatever the hell it is, like it's always gonna be the cover art. You know what I mean? So like that always has to look good because or else like as someone just scrolling through like iTunes or like Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever, if you see a garbage cover art, you're not too inclined to actually click on it and look at the song, you know, and listen to it. So I find with the cover arts, it's going to tell a story. It's going to give you like the first impression of the song or what project it is. You know what I mean?
So it's funny because usually people say that we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but in this case, it's
we always do at the same time.
Of
you know
course.
What I mean? Like even like regardless of whoever's going to say it or not, like when you go to like Chapters, you go to any bookstore, the first thing you see is the book cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And usually you're not gonna pick up something you don't like. If you don't like it visually right off the bat, you're probably not gonna like pay any more attention to it. You know what I mean? It's like advertisement.
Yeah.
So first impression's everything, you know?
So you guys are the pioneers of marketing, aesthetics and everything, right?
Yeah, like we're the front line kind of deal in that sense, you know, everything visual, it's all graphic design. So everything you see is all literally everything is
like every detail, every color. How important is I guess the color versus the logo versus the logo. What I mean is like when you're designing, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask it in this way. What are the main components when it comes to designing that you have to like really focus on?
Well, your whole concept is probably the most important thing ever. Like your concept, your creativity, and composition and design elements.
Okay,
would probably be the most important things because like if you're designing a logo or something like that, you want to make something nice, but you don't want to like have it overly saturated with like stuff on your logo, you know what I mean? You want it nice and clean and simple, or it could be busy, but you got to find like the middle point between everything for it to get a design completely to work together, you know? So
because I feel like that's the case. I was showing you a little logo off camera and stuff, and you were explaining how like some of the lines were like some of the lines in some portion of the logo wasn't the same as the text, as the font, and that the size of that image was as large as the text. So maybe I should reduce that. So a couple of suggestions, and I think that subconsciously, even before like, you know, speaking with you, I had a feeling something was off. Because subconsciously it just caught on like, there's maybe, but I can't pinpoint what it was. And then you kind of just, you're just like, well, there's this and there's that. And I'm like, wow, okay, that makes sense.
Because the thing is like, it's all visual, you know what I mean? So like when something doesn't work, like if you have the eye for it, you're going to notice it off the bat where it's like, it's just something there's off. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't have the same flow as the rest of the document or whatever, you know what I mean? So like the sizing between, let's say, letters, so like the leading or the kerning, all that jazz, like it's gonna change the whole composition of the logo, you know what I mean? Or like even just the size of the letters, the stroke on them, if it's different compared to like other elements on the design, like it's gonna stand out. And as a designer, you need to be able to have an explanation to back up why you did that design. You know what I mean? Why did you choose to do this? Like why, like for example, the logo you designed, like the little diamond, if I was a client and I noticed that, I would be like, why is the diamond like thicker than the rest of the logo? You know what I mean? Why is it bigger? Like why is it the same size as the text, as the title? So you have to be able to like back it up, you know?
And do you think that there is always proper justification for every logo, or at one point you really have to say, no, this is not technically sound, this can't be done? And I know we were talking about how visually it has to be appealing, but are there things you could pull off in some way? Like, okay, well, like we, like, you know, this is not what it's meant to be, but it looks good, so we'll stay.
I mean, like, you don't have to, like, you in graphic design you can really bend the rules a lot because it's all visual at the end of the day. So you know what I mean? There's not really set rules. Like there's rules to follow, but man, you can bend those, you know? Like it's not the end of the world if you figure out a way to do something and a way to create something and it comes out still looking good, then who am I to say anything about it, or who is anybody else to say about it? If it looks good, you like it, the client like it, boom. You know what I mean? So
and do you think has a lot of graphic design in the past been about that though? Like, you know, for people to innovate, they have to maybe obviously bend the rules, right? Yeah. But do you look back at old like graphic designs and say like, well, this is not what I learned in school. This is not how I learned it in school. Yeah. It's completely different, but it works, and it's been like a logo or a design that's been used like around the world. Is that something that you could pinpoint, or you don't really have an idea about?
I mean, like, not really. Like, it just,
I guess it's just like, it's always a feeling, right?
Yeah, it's just, you have to just go in like open-minded with everything, you know? Like, you just have to be able you gotta experiment, you know? Yeah. You gotta be willing to experiment, and at the same time, how can I explain this? Experiment and just experiment and be open-minded to other like ideas, you know, because like you'll have your like safe area, and then there's gonna be a part of like your hobby that you're not gonna be too comfortable with. And not everyone's gonna want exactly what you're really good at doing, you know what I mean? They'll hire you because you're good at doing something, but then they might ask you to do something else, and you have to be able to adapt to that to that contract, you know, with your client. So you got to go in every time, design something open-mindedly, and you just got to try new things, you know? In life, you got to take risk, you know? If you don't take risk, because nothing's going to happen for you.
Yeah, 100%. And you've had a background in, like, graffiti and drawing and stuff and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure that all those skills you've developed have really been able to, like, carry over to, like, your graphic design, right? So
specifically graffiti the most. Like, I used to draw anime, like, as a kid. I first started off, like, obviously everyone starts off, like, drawing stick figures and all that, like, jazz. But, like, I started off with stick figures, and I went to, like, anime and stuff like that, because I used to watch, like, Inuyasha and, like, a bit of Naruto, and, like, I used to read, like, Death Notes and stuff like that. So I was really heavy into anime for a little bit as a kid, and then so I started drawing them. Same thing with, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, that whole, like, trilogy and everything. I love to draw them. And from then, like, I don't know how it happened. I just fell in love with graffiti. I've always loved graffiti and the way it looked. So, like, when I was a kid, like, going downtown with my dad and stuff like that, when he would take me to work, I would always be looking at the walls on the highway, looking at the walls just downtown, looking at all the tags, the the pieces, the throw ups, the burners, everything, you know. And I was just always like, it always intrigued me, you know. I always found it super interesting. So
that was your original, I guess, was your original passion and like ambition. No, wait, what would I be looking for? Like, because when you see all that and you're like amazed by the graffiti and whatnot, was that like your dream? Like you're like, okay, well, I want to be doing this kind of stuff when I grow up? Or did you always know that like it wasn't going to be your path, but you definitely wanted to like take on all the knowledge you could, take in all the knowledge you can, and then basically develop it elsewhere, basically?
Well, like graffiti wasn't necessarily like a path that I wanted to follow. I just kind of ended up doing it. You know what I mean? It's just like I just started watching like bombing videos online of like Montreal graffiti artists, and then I was just like realized like, yo, this is pretty fucking sick. So like, let me try it. You know what I mean? So I searched up how to do graffiti, and then they just give you instructional videos on how to really start on learning how the process of the art form. You know, and that's what I did. And when I was younger, like, I would love to have been like a professional graffiti artist because all you did was paint walls all day long and you get paid for it, which would be absolutely dope. But like, there's not really money to make in graffiti, and it's just it wasn't the specific path like that I wanted to follow. It was more so of a hobby, and it's something that I like doing because I like art, I like drawing, and it just gave me another like genre, like subgenre of art to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely an inspiration.
Yeah,
I guess that's the word I was looking for the whole time.
Yeah.
So it basically inspired you. And whatever you took from there, you brought into like what you're using now.
Oh yeah, no, like my designs are heavily influenced by like street art, like graffiti, and just like streetwear cultures, urban art, like everything like involved in the streets. Like I take a lot of inspiration from that.
And when you get like a contract, that requires you to be
more corporate,
the opposite of that. Like how do you?
Yeah, well, I had a contract actually the other couple of weeks ago for my boy Chris Yassa. He's an arbiter. I think that's how you call it. Anyways, he basically takes care of cutting down trees and stuff like that. So if you have a rotten tree, he'll take care of it. He'll cut it down for you like safely and properly.
Nice.
Because like you don't want to cut down a tree next thing you know it falls on your house.
And
so I made a logo for him, but like my style for the logo, like my style for any type of logo will not necessarily follow exactly what he wants because his company is a very corporate company. It has to be professional and stuff like that. So I had to like adapt my style in a certain way so I can create something that works for his company, but still looks trendy and still looks good. You know what I mean? Because as a young kid, you're starting a fresh new company, and our generation, like
looks for aesthetics. We crave it.
Exactly. Everything's got to look good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I tried to make something look a little bit funky. So like I used white space and all.
Yeah, so that's the thing. At that point, like,
like
we were looking at the logo for this podcast and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, there's always ways to like play around with.
Like this is the logo right here. You know what I mean? It's not finished. I did it super quickly. I still want to add some things to it. He asked me to change one thing on it, so I got to do that. But like, as you can see, it's like compared to my other designs that you've known, like. It's more corporate, you know what I mean? It's more
definitely cleaner and the shapes, the lines, everything's
exactly.
Like, do I show it on the camera?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I guess we'll put on this camera.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, you know what? Oh wait, I'll put it here, because the focus is gonna be weird. You might have to put it on your angle and point it here. People who are listening, we're showing a logo right now that we're trying to get in focus. Yeah, you have to back up though. Not
whatever. If anything, I'll just send you the file. I'll send you a picture. And
you could go to.
Just check my Instagram. You know, Nosa Graphics.
Nosa Graphics.
Exactly, on Instagram.
And then you'll find it. And go like it. Go leave a like. Go leave a comment. I'm talking to the people like. I'm making sure. Yeah, we're blessed. But that's dope. I mean, like, at this point, obviously being a lot more involved and having a contract like that, basically, how do you feel going forward? Like, do you find yourself gaining more confidence as you're like working with these like uncomfortable like contracts where you're like, oh, that's not like.
I like the challenge because it just kind of forces me to step outside my
comfort zone.
My comfort zone, and I'm a type of person that I don't like being a beginner. No one likes being a beginner,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And like it's always been that whole like starting fresh, doing new things and not being good at it right off
Yeah.
the bat. It always pissed me off. So like I don't like doing those things, but at the same time, I just got to do them. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? And it just gave me it gave me something else to do and like another style, and I did enjoy it and came out fucking dope. So
Yeah, it actually was nice.
yeah,
And I
was really
think
proud
that
of it.
that's the most important part is what you just said. Being proud of your work carries a lot more weight.
Yeah, because there's definitely been pieces of work like graphics that I've done that I just haven't showcased
because you're like, nah.
It looks like garbage, you know what I mean? Like I want to showcase like everything, not everything I've done, because there's been plenty of things I've done that I don't showcase on my Instagram or anything like that, like for school and stuff. But I always want to showcase my favorite pieces of work and like the cleanest ones that I've done, you know what I mean? So,
but how much do you think that if you posted the ones you're not comfortable with, they would gain, like, do you think you'd probably gain more traction than you'd expect?
Or I don't know.
Because I think at one point we also know, like, as people who, you know, I guess, you know, you draw, you paint, you take a picture, like, you kind of know, like, okay, that's not really good.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, how much of it is it's actually not good and no one's really going to like it versus, like, you just not down to, like, hear some of the negative stuff, but low-key, like, people might actually enjoy it.
I mean, like, yeah, I guess that's a possibility for that, but the way I want to run my Instagram is just I want to more so keep it to, like, my personal stuff, because there's a lot of, like, I don't think I've ever posted any of my school projects on my Instagram.
No,
like, none of it. Like, it's all been, like, commissioned work or just my own art pieces that I wanted to create for myself. So, at that sense, like, I mean, I guess I could get more traction if I did post that, but at the end of the day, it is what it, like, it's not the end of the world, you know?
Nah, and you're still creating anyways.
Exactly.
Like, this summer, obviously, if you get more corporate stuff, you start, you know, making more logos for artists and stuff, like, you'll definitely gain more traction with that alone. But what would be, like, a big struggle right now, though? Like, something that's...
Like, something that I would have difficulty of doing?
Yeah.
Coding,
huh?
Like,
so that's like a big step for your future. You want to start coding, like, to, you know, and sell what you know, or you just coding because that really interests you and you want to make sure you run your website the way you want and stuff.
Like, personally, I wouldn't want to get coding contracts. Like, they pay a lot of money because no one wants to do them. But man, like, I want to rip my hair out doing coding.
How much can you get? It's like a couple thousand.
Easily. Because, like, the thing is, like, if you're doing it yourself, like, it's gonna take you long, and then that means you're gonna be their web designer for their whole website, because it's gonna be your code, and, like, everyone writes, like, coding is a different language that you have to learn, so everyone codes differently. So if you're as an individual and you make a website for a company, you're gonna be the one that has to, like, always update it and keep it up to date. And I don't know. I don't find my skill in coding is strong enough to actually get contracts for it. Like, you know, like. Yeah.
So, because
I'm not comfortable enough to, like, ask for someone to pay me for coding, you know.
But what language are you learning?
I'm learning. I've learned HTML and CSS. PHP. I just learned. I'm not too good at it. I'm much better at HTML and CSS, but I'm learning PHP, and I gotta learn JavaScript next semester, or like this next school year. You know. But
JavaScript is that the international.
Well, everything they're all international.
Okay.
Like HTML, because HTML5, basically HTML5, like, would be the skeleton. Okay.
Okay, so, like, the outside, basically, like the structure.
Yeah. So the HTML5 is your skeleton of the body. Then I would say CSS is, like, kind of like all your not your insides, but the way you, like, look. And then JavaScript would be the way, like, your style. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's how.
So you could use everything simultaneously.
Yeah, no. You should use everything simultaneously. Like every website that you see that is from a professional company,
HTML, CSS,
all of it.
CSS?
And they're like, I'm not. Yeah, CSS.
Okay.
I'm not even mentioning like there's other languages that I don't even know. There's so many languages for coding that.
Nice. Okay, so they all serve a different purpose.
Yeah, they all serve a different purpose. Like HTML is like the structure. CSS is like the design elements.
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript's to give all that like that really interesting like how. It's like it takes style and like goes like farther, like it goes deeper down the rabbit hole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you have like, let's say if you go on a website and you have like let's say a drop down menu and it comes from the side, and then they have all like the links that like just drop down, or they do it in like a funky way, or like you next you know you have like you click through what's it called, like a page, like a home page, and it brings you to the actual website, and like let's say the home page kind of like flips off like your browser screen or whatever, that's going to be all JavaScript. Like you can't do that with CSS, or if you I'll be quite amazed if you figure out a way to do that with CSS. Okay. You know what I mean? So all that like extra shit on coding is all JavaScript. So you can make a really good website just HTML and CSS, but if you want to go that extra mile, you got to use JavaScript, because JavaScript's where everything, like the crazy stuff on websites, it's all JavaScript, or like the other crazy languages that I don't know. But yeah, so.
Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I thought it was all like different and you just use one.
No. Oh my god.
So it'd be so limited, you wouldn't be able to like.
Bro, there's so much to coding. Is crazy. Like servers, like oh my god.
Yeah, you gotta
like
make sure
hosting,
running,
like domains, like it's wild.
So imagine because me, I think that the one of the most beautiful websites is Apple. But obviously that's up for debate there. I mean,
yeah.
We're so used to it now. People are like, okay, well, it's become a template almost.
Yeah.
But like when I first saw it, and you'd like scroll down, and then the images would like topple on top of each other, and it was like, whoa, that's so beautiful. Do you ever like get caught also in like just looking at websites and being like, whoa, that's so.
Yeah, like I have extensions on my laptop on Chrome where you can like do like CSS viewer and stuff like that, and like HTML viewer. Nice. So like if you click on it, like your browser, you can highlight certain things, and you can see the properties of elements on the page. So like you can see how this, like why it works, you know what I mean? You see the code instead of having to go click it, like view page source, because if you're on Google Chrome, you can view the code of the website. So can you
modify the code, or that's all protected? You could copy the code if you want.
Yeah, you can copy the code if you want, but the thing is about copying code, it's someone else's work, you know what I mean?
So it really is like that, right?
Yeah, so it's like thinking about an essay, you know what I mean? You find like an article, like a scholar article on the internet, and you want to, like, let's say plagiarize, you know what I mean? You're rushing or whatever. So imagine taking an article and having to change, like, use the same information but change it all in your own words, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. It's like it's gonna be really difficult, you know?
Shit.
So if you want to steal someone's, not necessarily steal, because code is code, you know.
But you're like basically like, if you grab the template, like.
Yeah, you can grab a template, you know, but.
Shit.
Yeah.
So you have to watch out.
Not even.
Is it signed and stuff?
Like,
do you know who it's?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, you can. There's plenty of like websites that you can go to, and you can get like a certain like coding elements. So like you can find, let's say it's called a hamburger menu, where it's like it'll be like 4 like lines, like little lines, and it looks like a little hamburger.
Nice.
And then you click on it, and it'll be the drop down menu, you know what I mean? So like it'll slide from like the left side of the browser, like you'll click on it and it'll like, and then you'll have your menu down there, you know what I mean? There's certain websites where they'll have that pre-coded for you, like someone already coded it. You can just copy the code, the CSS, and throw it into your document, and you can use it, you know what I mean? But there's, at the same time, there's some people that will do that, but they'll copyright it. So in a sense that you have to give the rights in the code, which is not the end of the world. But for someone who's in school and doing it, like the teachers don't like that. They want everything coded like by hand, by you. So.
Okay, so.
But you can take it for inspiration, you know what I mean? Or, yeah, you can do what you want to do, you know?
Yeah. Like, let's say you want to, but like, so you're basically doing it from scratch. Like A to Z. So white page.
Everything.
And you just.
Everything.
So if you wanted to
Like if you asked me to build you a website for like the Medium podcast, like
you could like from scratch.
Like I start off with HTML.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the HTML, and you fill up everything.
And for example, you have Wix, you have WordPress, you have.
I was doing WordPress actually this semester. I was learning how to code with WordPress. So you can use WordPress, like if you have a company, you can use Squarespace.
Squarespace, yeah, that's.
These are great, amazing websites, and like if you don't want to code or you don't want to pay someone to code, like they're amazing, you know. But at the same time, there's ways where you could have a child theme of that. So you can essentially, that's what I was learning this semester. Like we had to make a child theme via WordPress, like for our mock company.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you make a WordPress account, you find a theme that you like, and from that theme, in all your files in your directory, you make a child theme, and then from that child theme it's just a CSS. And then you have to go onto your WordPress page, and then you go on the elements and you view your elements and all the tags from whoever previously like coded it. And then from finding and doing your research on your page, you can then go into the CSS and edit it into a certain way so that you have the template, but then you can style it the way you want it to look. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what we were learning this semester. So, but there's plenty of things you can do with coding.
But do you think that Wix, WordPress, and Squarespace are as efficient compared to like building your own?
Yes and no. Like the benefits of building your own, like exactly how it works, how you coded it, and you put it exactly what you want and what you don't want in it, you know. And the thing is about WordPress, like, and like Squarespace, you're picking not elements but templates, you know. So those templates are pre-made by someone else. So this is someone else's decisions for these design elements and how it looks, you know what I mean? And then you have to go in and edit it yourself. So at the end of the day, I would say it's easier to code everything by yourself. Yeah. But
so if you're willing to learn the language, just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone can do it. It's whether you like it or not, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I dislike it, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing in the world. No. You know?
And like you said, not a lot of people necessarily enjoy the whole process. There's obviously a lot of software engineers and people who love coding, but yeah, it's definitely tedious because you have to, like you said, learn a new language and, you know, start from scratch. And then you're basically with looking at a blank page and you're like, okay, so where do I go from there? But I think that at one point you learn do you think at one point it gets overly complicated to the extent where to know how to code something, you have to like really do tedious research and bring in Java with HTML and try and bring those two together? Or
well, if you're self-teaching yourself, like you're gonna have to do a lot of research. But if you're if you don't know yourself, how to code, you're gonna have to do a lot of research and go look at a lot of videos, because if you don't have a teacher, coding is one of the most confusing things on the planet, because one little character
makes a whole difference.
It changes everything. Like you can like not put like a semicolon at the end of your CSS, and that whole tag, that whole like rule that you created will not apply to your document, because you could just misspell one thing and your whole thing won't work. And you don't know you misspelled it because you've been just coding for hours on end, you know what I mean? So you have to go into your code and like look for everything, and you have to find the mistake, and it's a lot of problem solving.
So at one point you might just never know what's going on. You're gonna have to restart, look through the whole code.
It depends. It really depends how code and how organized you are coding.
Oh, so you can make it organized if you want.
Yeah, you can
like legit writing on a piece of paper.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can write a whole code on a piece of paper, and like if you did it like by hand on a piece of paper and then put it into like a Dreamweaver or whatever, like Atom, like text editor, like you can.
But Dreamweaver is pretty solid. I've used that in the past.
Dreamweaver is solid, but it's a bitch.
Oh, it's like very difficult to understand.
Not that's very difficult to understand. It's like it's a very powerful program, but it's like I don't know. Like there's other programs that are out there for coding that are easier to use,
simpler to use and stuff. But who who would use that type of program like Dreamweaver? Like people who are more like
back end and front end developers, like web developers.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And it's actually like a well-known.
Oh yeah, it's Adobe.
Okay.
So like if you buy the Adobe pack, you get
Dreamweaver.
You're getting Dreamweaver. So.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And what, other than like websites and whatnot, like what are you finding more challenging as well? Like if someone's looking to like start graphic design and like what would you tell yourself, like if you were able to speak to yourself 2 years ago, like a younger version of yourself who was starting graphic design, what would be one thing you'd say?
Don't be afraid to like screw up. You know what I mean? Or like don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone, because like I don't know. Something around those lines, because I guess my first semester, or just like practice, honestly, because like my first semester, like I went into it and like I knew some things. I was just kind of cocky about it, because like I knew I was like a bit better than most people in my class, and like not to like people in my class, they make amazing stuff as well, you know.
It's just that was a feeling you got from
I know, like first semester I was like, oh, I knew how to do this, I knew how to do that, so like I don't really have to put that much effort in. But then afterwards, like my first year finished and like my second year started, and I was like, I gave it a lot more effort, and like everyone noticed. You know what I mean? Like I had students in my class be like, yo, like you've put a lot more effort into your stuff than compared to like last semester, you know what I mean? So if I had to tell myself like 2 years ago, like something that would benefit me now would be really just focus on your work. Practice. Just keep on trying, you know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid
to take those risks.
Exactly.
Because that's usually what holds people back.
People are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
We're all afraid to fail, you know what I mean?
Normal,
but failure is a part of life. Just like you can't succeed without failure, essentially, because like their first idea never works. You know what I mean? You go through, you recycle ideas until something actually works. So you just have to have the patience and the dedication to actually get through those barriers, I should say.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
because the thing is that you look at who you want to be, and because you're not producing that, you get worried.
Yeah, it discourages you. You know what I mean? You see all these artists, or you see all these people that you look up to, and you love their artwork and all that, but they started at the same exact spot that you did. You know what I mean? It's like making music. It's like it's like building a business. You know what I mean? All these great business owners or creatives or artists out there, it didn't happen overnight. Obviously, some people, they got lucky. You know what I mean? Like it just worked right off the bat, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? That happens, and if you get lucky, you get lucky. If you don't, most of us, 95% of the people won't get that lucky. You know what I mean?
It's all talent at that point.
We're gonna fail, and then at one point we're gonna succeed.
Yeah, what's crazy is that I watched a video the other day, and he was talking about how growth is exponential in some way. So think of it this way, right? I don't remember the exact math. Yeah. But it was something along the lines, you're 24. Yeah. You've been working on your craft for 2 years. You're 24. You've been working on your craft 4 years, something like that. Yeah. But you say, I'm 25% of the way. Right there. The way there. So that means you have 75 more percent to complete in order to get to your finish line. Yeah. So what happens is that people after 4 years and seeing only 25% growth, they stop. Because
it's discouraging.
But what he said is that after 6 years, you're at 50%.
After 8 years.
Well, at that point, it would be maybe like 1 year. You're at like 75. Yeah. I forget the math. People who are listening or watching might figure it out. But it was something along those lines. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
It would actually, so it'd be 4, 6, and then 7, because only an extra year. Yeah. And then you're basically at 100%. Yeah. And then by the age you're like 28, you're already at 100%. And then what's great is that at 29, after an extra year, you're at 200%.
It's all about
like,
dedication, bro. Honestly, like,
yeah.
it's just, you got to put the time and effort into your craft if you really wanted to perfect it. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta cut the bullshit. You know what I mean? You gotta, like, what is holding you back? What is holding you back from doing this? Because, like, everyone has always said, if you want your dream to come true, you gotta do sacrifices, and you gotta put the work into it. You know what I mean? Like, and that means, like, you gotta sacrifice some things that you love. Like, if you love, like, playing video games, like watching Netflix, just chilling with your friends, you know what I mean? At one point, like, it comes to an age that you gotta figure out, like, what the hell you want to do.
Yeah, because real life hits, or real life, like, responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to really, like, be a creative, or you really want to do this, if you want this to be your job for the rest of your life, you gotta be willing to work for it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And be the greatest.
Exactly.
But the greatest is always different, and it's subjective on.
Of course, it's always subjective.
Who you
but
want.
You can
who you are. Sorry.
But you can always do better.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no limit in life, I would say. Like, in any genre or any, like, area of, or I should say industry. Like, if you have a business and your business is booming, your business could do better. You know?
Yeah,
you could always do better, you know? So it's always just about the dedication and the time and effort that you want to put into it, you know? Yeah. You could be comfortable, and that's perfectly fine if you're comfortable. You know, not everyone wants the big office job or be a complete millionaire, you know what I mean? But it's what you want, and it's just, you gotta understand what you need to do to get to the place that you are. Yeah. And that's most people's issue. Yeah. At least I would think. Yeah. Is that people have a dream and have a goal, but they don't know how to achieve it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that happens to me all the time. Yeah. Like, I have plenty of, like, graphic design, like, things that I would want to do, but I don't know how to do it. And, like, since I don't know how to do it, I kind of sit back and just kind of, it's in the back of my mind, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is between, you know, not having the tools, in a sense where you're not sure how to get there, like you were pointing out. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes people got to ask themselves the real question and be like, is this who I am? Yeah. Is this who I'm meant to be? Because there's a lot of people that could convince themselves that, like, you know, oh no, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, it gets confusing. Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Pause. You know, this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is who I'm supposed to be because my parents said so. Or
yeah, but fuck all that shit. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I gotta be honest with you. Like, I was very, very blessed with my parents. Like, very, very understanding, very loving, and they really don't care what I do for, like, living. Obviously they don't want me to sell drugs and shit. But as long as I'm happy, they want me just to be happy and successful and live the life that I want to live. You know what I mean? If I'm a garbage man and I was happy, my parents would be happy. You know what I mean? They just want me to be happy. So
yeah, no, there's definitely
and I find with other kids, you know, like they're so peer pressured by their parents to go into, like, sciences or commerce, you know what I mean, and do all this, the traditional style of, like, education. Yeah. And I find that really eats at some kids at the end, because they're like, yo, I'm so unhappy with what I'm doing, and I'm wasting so many years and so much effort and so much of my personal time to do something at the end of the day that I know from 10 years from now, when I'm going to be in the industry, I'm not going to like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I got boys that are in John Molson School of Business right now. Yeah. They're in economics. These kids don't like economics. You know what I mean? Like, they're struggling so hard, but yet they don't know what they want to do.
But yeah, so
but their parents are, like, pushing them in that direction, and I'm just like, I'm telling them, like, you're just I'm gonna be straight up with you, like, you're wasting your time, bro.
Yeah,
like,
you should be looking,
regardless of what your parents can yell at you, they can cuss you out and do all that jazz because you're not doing what they want you to do. But at the end of the day, your parents are not going to be there till the end of the time. Yeah. So this is your life. They had their life to live and their goals and whatever. If they didn't achieve them, they can't force their goals and what they want for you onto you if you don't want it. Yeah. Do what you want to do. Focus on your happiness. Happiness is the most important thing in life. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
if you can't understand how to be happy, like if you not understand how to be happy, but if you can't,
if you can't find that for yourself and you don't question it or you don't thrive for it,
yeah,
like it becomes a problem because then you're living someone else's life.
exactly.
No, I really like what you said. Like it makes sense. Like or not necessarily makes sense, but like it's a fact.
Yeah,
Because that's the life. That's the life that people are living. I don't. But I think that at the end of the day, everyone has a certain path, a certain journey.
yeah,
So I think that nonetheless, being in economics is still important because they'll learn a lesson about, something. They'll be like, I had an epiphany or I had a wake up call. Like this is okay. Like they're supposed to be there because they're gonna realize something.
yeah.
But I think it's definitely important that people take the time to go home and question themselves and really take time to get into that part of your head that you're not comfortable with and be like, okay, well, is this really what I have to be doing? Is this really what I want? Is it for my parents or is it for me? And then something that I hear about sometimes is like, disrespect your parents now, do what you love, and in 10 years, it's going to be all good because you're going to prove it to them.
They might be mad at you for a little bit, but it's in the long run, it's your life, you got to do what you want to do. And like one thing that's always stuck with me that my mom's always said was that don't ever put your happiness in someone else's hands. You know what I mean? Like, so, because if you do that, you'll never be truly happy at the end of the day in your life. You know what I mean? And so essentially your happiness always comes first. I'm not saying that you can't go and make other people happy, but I think you should always try to make yourself happiest as possible, like before you focus on someone else's happiness or something like that. You know what I mean? So essentially with that being said, like if you're following what your parents want you to do, you're just putting you're putting your happiness in their hands. And it's like, at the end of the day, who's it going to affect? It's not going to affect your parents. No. Your parents already have a career and their life is already made. You're the one that has to really figure out. And if you're going to continuously just go into commerce or sciences or English literature or whatever the hell you're in and that you don't like it, you're the one that's going to pay the price at the end of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm very 100%. Blunt about that because that's the way it is. That's life, Yeah. It's either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
So.
No, 100% because it's important to know that you're the person you fall asleep with at night, Like it's you in your head. Like
at the end of the day.
No, yeah.
The only person, person that's always going to have your back 110% every single day, 24/7, 365 days a year, like it's going to be you. Yeah. It's not gonna be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, brother, whoever the hell it is. It's gonna be you. Yeah. So
no, like you. Yeah. No, I really like that a lot because to add to what you're saying, like you just gotta be able to take the risks now, do what you think might not work, or what people might not think works, but that works deep down because that's what you want. And I guess and just be patient because what I was saying about being about growth being exponential, like people quit before the big things happen. Exactly. And that I'm a victim of. I think everyone's been a victim of just quitting because you don't feel
it's working or you're not getting the results that you want.
Yeah. But the thing is that you got to be patient. The reason why people lose is because they're not patient as well, right? Just to add on to what you're saying. So
everyone wants everything now. You know what I mean? No one wants to work for it. And
but I think that's a problem with the way social media, not necessarily social media, but the internet is so accessible, is that we've become accustomed to this fast service, this, you want it now? Well, here you go. Just Google it and you'll get it. So I think we lose perspective on how life really works.
Oh, excuse me.
All good. And it's not and that is life isn't Google. Life is not meant to be a search engine. Life is meant to be a journey, and that you can't type what you're looking for and get a magic answer. You have to find that answer for yourself.
If you want it, you got to go and get it. You know what I mean? No one's going to get it for you.
I love it.
It's a dog eat dog world. It's either you finesse or you get finessed. Yeah. Not saying you guys should finesse people, but
you got
to do what you got to do to get to the top in a genuine and a respectful way. You know what I mean? So
Respect.
exactly.
I think we could wrap this, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You remember my last little question before we did?
I think so. It's about a quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's a quote you'd want us to leave? What would be a quote you want to leave us on? Because we gotta influence, younger people
Yeah.
into wanting to, follow their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure people who even might be older and
Yeah.
feel lost that everything's gonna be okay. So, what are you feeling in your heart right now?
Like one of my favorite quotes is from Kanye West.
Yeah.
Said like nothing in life is guaranteed except death. You know what I mean? So that with that being said, it's like live your life to the fullest. Take risk, fail, succeed, because at the end of the day, you are gonna die. You know? So why wait? You know what I mean? What's holding you back? Failure? It is what it is. It happens. It happens to everyone. So, fuck you. You fail. You fall on your face. Get back up. Do it again. Try it again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Respect. Thank you so much.
No stress. Thanks for having me, bro.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Yo, we'll have you back on. We want people to follow your development. I need you to keep pumping out those beautiful logos, those designs.
Gotcha.
One last thing too, before we dope. I'm mixing all these words. Before we go,
yeah.
Where can people find you to go follow, like, and whatnot?
Basically, you can find me on Instagram, like Young Nosa, so YUNGNOSA. That's my main Instagram. Or you can follow me on my my art Instagram, which is Nosa Graphics, so NOSA Graphics. Both are on Instagram. Follow me. Hit me up if you need anything. I got you. Photography, graphic design, web design in the future.
Trust.
Literally anything you need. I got you.
Guys, you heard it from the legend. Please go follow, like, subscribe, do all those beautiful things.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you on the next one. The people listening, the people viewing, we love you. You're beautiful. You're bold. You're cover girl. Peace.